Hey Stampers, it's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. Thanks for joining me this Monday, November the 1st. Hard to believe we're into November. Pretty soon Christmas will be here. Oh my gosh. I hope you all had a great weekend and a great Halloween. Today we are going to focus on another one of the Christmas bundles in the mini catalog, the Bright Baubles. And you can find that on page 40 of the mini. So there's a stamp set and coordinating dies that you can purchase for 10% off. And we're also going to use some designer paper called Whimsy and Wonder. And I want to quickly show you this paper because it is really something special. Uses a lot of sort of non-traditional colors. So again, you get 12 sheets, 2 of 6 designs. So this is one of the patterns on the back, sort of mossy meadow and polka dots. And then we have some misty moonlight with stars, some holly here with mossy meadow, some mint macaron, some really bright pink, and some really cool stripes. So a lot of pinks and mints going on here. And on the reverse, which is really cool, you start with this foil, which is almost like, kind of makes your eyes a little bit dizzy. It has a lot of silver foil on this one side. That's why it's a specialty paper. So we have these. We have these beautiful little ornaments here. I'm just turning this the right way. So some really pretty little ornaments, and you can just see that silver popping through. And here's some more gifts that you can just cut out by hand or, you know, use them as a background. These beautiful trees. I just love this page. We're actually going to use this in our project today. And I also love this one, this holly with the pretty pinks and the mints and the mossy meadow and then the silver popping through. I think that's gorgeous. And we have some really bright pink with some gorgeous silver snowflakes on it. So this is the Whimsy and Wonder Designer Series paper, and that's currently in the fall mini. So the card we are going to make is this one. I found this online, created by a demonstrator called Brian King. Yes, we actually have some male demonstrators in Stampin' Up!, believe it or not, and they're very talented. Brian is one of our more senior demonstrators from the US, and I did switch up his color palette just a tiny bit from what his sample was, and I had to play with the measurements a bit because he didn't post his measurements by his sample, but quite close to what he did, but I did sort of take a spin on it. So I'm going to show you how we are going to put this card together. So for the base, we are going to use some balmy blue. And this is cut at 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. So you're just going to fold on that score line. So our card will be this orientation here. Okay, so I'm just going to fold it over and crease that. And then we have a layer of shaded spruce, and here is some of that Designer Series paper, the Whimsy Wonder. There is this mint piece on the back, but I'm going to use these trees because I just think they are beautiful. So we're just going to add this onto our shaded spruce. And then we have a piece of mint macaron that we're just going to put as a bit of a background here. So you can put it wherever you like. I'm going to put mine a little more closer to the top. Don't want to cover up too much of these beautiful trees, so I think I'll just sort of put it about here. I think Brian's was a little bit wider, but I thought, no, he used a different DSP as well, but I liked how this looked. Okay, and then we can pop this onto our base. You could also, Brian had used Pool Party as his base, but I thought, well, I'm going to try this with the balmy blue. And I think it looks good too. So, Okay, so we're gonna set this aside, and now we're gonna work on this ornament. So in the dies, this is what they look like. They're actually a little bit too big for my sheet. We are going to focus on this sort of elongated ornament, and there are two different styles. So the one we are going to use has this tree in here with some snowflakes, but there's also one that says merry and bright, which is also beautiful. And then you have some nice round ones. So you have the solids, so if you wanted to stamp and then cut out, you could. So these round ones, you've got a beautiful snowflake here, and you have another one that says joy. So that's also a beautiful ornament. And they're quite large, which I was kind of surprised at how big they were, but they seem to work just fine. Okay, so what I did here, and I'm going to show you the pieces. It's almost like doing a bit of a mosaic or a tile kind of effect here. So these are the pieces that I cut out. So what I did was I wanted the base of my ornament to be silver, so I used the large die for that. And then I cut it again out of silver, but using this detailed tree die. And when I cut it out again, I did put some adhesive sheets on the back, okay? Because we are going to take out the pieces that we need and put that on our base, okay? And then for this tree here, I just cut a piece large enough out of the shaded spruce that would fit under the tree in the die. You could cut out the whole thing if you wanted. And then on the balmy blue, I just wanted it for this part here, kind of like the sky behind the tree. And so I only cut it so I would get those pieces out of there. And then on the bottom, I just wanted white to make it look like a bit of snow under the tree. So again, I just cut a little bit of paper and just to be able to get those two pieces out. And then this teeny weeny star, I cut out of gold foil here, okay? So this is what will probably take the longest to do, is put these pieces on. But having them on the adhesive sheet is a great help. So for this one, we're going to start with this, and the only part I want from this is the outside, really, and you know, the lines of it inside. So I'm going to pop out all of these other pieces because I don't need those for this card. You could definitely keep them aside and use them on another card. So I'm just going to pop these out as best I can and set these aside. And then I'm just going to peel this off of the adhesive sheet here. Of course, I don't have great fingernails, so I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool is your friend when you're doing this sort of technique here. Okay, so you're just gently going to pull that off, and a lot of it should come with the die, or when you peel it off, but if it doesn't, you just pull them out or poke them out, and they come out very easy. Okay, so then what I'm going to do, oops, the thing is it gets stuck to everything. Okay, so then I am going to put this on top of the base here. Okay, and it is a little bit smaller, so it just sort of nestles in there. And I'm just going to press this down so it sticks, okay? So now comes the point where we have to fill in all of these little pieces. And like I said, this is what takes the longest. So let's start with the blue, because there are some really tiny pieces in here. Now this is on an adhesive sheet, so really all you're going to do, and I just want it on this outer edge here, right, on the sample, I just want the blue here and here. Okay, So a couple of teeny pieces that I do need are these teeny little triangles in here. So I'm just going to poke those off and put them in and just press down. And try not to lose these. That's why your take your pick tool is a great help in getting these in. And you wouldn't probably want to make a whole slew of these, but if you would like to, you can. Now already I have lost a little one, has fallen out somewhere. So I'm just gonna fake that piece a little bit later. Okay, so let's try to get this. Once these little guys are in, it actually goes pretty quick because of these adhesive sheets. They are awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to take out this larger bit of blue, and I'm just gonna fit this around and fit that in. It's kind of like a puzzle, like I said, puzzle, mosaic, that type of idea. And you just have to be careful with the tiniest pieces, because like I say, they do tend to get a little bit lost sometimes. Okay, so then we'll fit that blue and then the bottom piece here. Now, I don't know, did I take off the adhesive sheet of those? That's a good question. I don't think I did, so maybe they will all fall out. Hang on, I'm just gonna go back here and check. Oh my gosh, it's been a crazy weekend, so please bear with me. And I'm also prepping for my big Christmas class this Saturday, so it's been a little bit busy. Okay, so that one, let me just take the backs off these, or otherwise they will all fall out. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention, make sure you take off that adhesive backing before you put these down, or they won't stick. They won't stick. Okay. So then our blue is pretty much done here. And you can just take your pick tool and kind of slide that over a little bit just to get it in the mold there. Okay, now I am just going to cut a teeny piece off because I missed that little corner. So I'm just going to sort of fake it and try to fit a little piece in here. Just oops, that one didn't work. Let's try that again. It's because I've got that backing on there. So tiny. Okay, this one might be a little bit big, but we will figure this out. Okay, if my piece would have been there, it would have been fine, right? It's always when you're on camera that things go a little bit awry. Okay, so we just sort of squished that piece in there. And so that is the blue background that we want, right? Okay, so now I'm just gonna put in this white. Okay, so there's two little pieces of white that I wanted for snow. Okay, so there's one. And the other one. Okay, and last, oh, you know what? I'm gonna put my little star in, and instead of trying to peel off that adhesive, I'm just going to put a tiny dot of Tombow on here, because that will save me a lot of aggravation. on these little pieces. I don't mind those other pieces, the bigger ones, but these little ones, but you know what? When it's all done, it does look amazing, I have to say. Okay, so let's get on to the tree. So we're going to fill in this tree image here, just like on the sample. Okay. Like I said, this is the part that takes the longest, but it'll be so worth it when it's done. And you could sure play with different colors of backgrounds and things on here too. If you didn't want the blue, you could certainly use something else, or you could just even make your trees all kinds of colors, like pinks or, you know, different colors, or white trees, and you know, you could do all different kinds of color palettes. If you remember some of those Charlie Brown trees, they were, you know, the old aluminum trees back in the day people used to buy, or the funny colored ones. There were pink trees once upon a time. Okay, oh my gosh, try not to get myself mixed up here. They are pretty easy to figure out though if you do get them mixed up. Okay, it's coming, we're almost there. Okay, so this one I think goes here. And is that the right one? Where's it go here? Let us see where this goes. I think it goes down here, actually. Oh no, it looks a little small. After I just said, oh, it's easy to figure out. Peel that off, maybe it goes up here. Ah, there we go. So the adhesive sheets are a little bit forgiving. You can kind of pick them up and reposition them, your pieces, if you need to. But yeah. And I know some of you are thinking, oh, I would never do that card. That is way too piddly. And I agree, it is piddly, but I think you would love the end result. And like I say, you wouldn't necessarily want to make a whole batch of them. You may just want to make them for some really special people. And I mean, if you have time to do it, great. But nothing says, you know, you have to be used a lot of different colors either. I'm missing a blue there. See, I'm glad. And a couple of little more squares. Okay. There. Oh my gosh, these two squares again. You know what? I'm just going to put some more Tombow here on these two tiny little specks. And then I will get these out of here without losing them. This is the worst part, is these tiny, tiny ones. If it wasn't for this, it would be like no problem at all. But I do admit this part is a little bit piddly, but I think it just adds so much. And the other one is still in here, I hope. Okay, I think I found it. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get this in here. And then I think this part will be finished. Let's turn this around. Okay, I think that will do. If it's not 100%, it's fine. It's better that it's in than out, I figure. Okay, Even if it's squished in a little bit, it's okay. In the overall scheme, it's just a teeny little piece. And there is our mosaic. Little piddly, like I said, but the adhesive sheets definitely help in the process. Okay, so now that we have that done, we can attach this to our card. So I think I will put this on with some dimensionals. I'm going to use the larger ones here. And one more down there. And I believe I will put this sort of centered, a little bit off, like so. And then I want to add my little bow here. So for that, I'm just going to put a little glue dot in this area here. And then I will position this on top like so. And maybe I will just put a teeny bit of adhesive there to tack that string down, and then just cut off the excess that you don't need. Okay, and the last thing we need is our greetings. So in the stamp set, you can kind of piece together some of these words. Okay, there's merry and bright, which is great. To you and yours is great. Wishing you, now I don't know why the is there. Or, you know, wishing you joy would make more sense. Or sending joy, or Christmas joy. You can just piece together whatever you would like. And I chose to go with Christmas joy. And so I just stamped this in shaded spruce on some scrap basic white. And then I'm just going to pop this up with dimensionals. I just cut them out freehand. I didn't use a die or anything. I just cut these out after I stamped them with my snips. And that was fine. I wasn't too particular if they were exactly straight or whatever. I thought just with some scissors is great. So you can position this however you like. And there is your card. So I hope you give it a try. I know it does feel like, oh my gosh, that's just, you know, I don't have the patience for that. But, you know, give it a try once and see what you think. I think it's a beautiful sort of stained glass effect, mosaic effect, and you could definitely just switch up the colors or use just one color, you know, if you wanted, or two colors. Nothing says you have to go crazy with that. So I hope you will give that a try. And I do have a new host code for November, now that it's November 1. CV3VXW3W, and you're welcome to use that at checkout on my online store on my website, christineludwig.stampinup.net, Facebook, Pinterest, and recently my new YouTube channel, Christine Stamping Spot. Please feel free to subscribe if you are there. I've posted a number of old videos going back to January, and you are welcome to scroll down through those and check them out if you're interested. And please do subscribe when you're there. I would really love it if you did. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you again next time. Bye for now.